Hey everybody, my name is Russ. That is Lauren. Welcome to our Sunday vinyl video, and I'm going to tell you the same thing I just told Lauren before I hit record. I'm going to talk about Pink Floyd again.
Oh no!
Surprise, surprise. This is a bootleg vinyl review, and I will tell you the same thing I told Lauren when it arrived. It was made by the bootleg people.
The bootleg people, the fine people at Bootleg Inc.
Yeah, and I don't know who made this LP. I don't care. To me, I'm in a weird spot when it comes to these types of things. With this specifically, this is a weird deal because this is not just a concert, an audience recording that's been passed around a million times and has never had an official release. This is a thing that very much had an official release onto the market by the record label, by Pink Floyd, but for whatever reason has never seen an official release on vinyl, which is where I have the nerve to say that I feel completely justified from a moral standpoint. Like, to give you an idea, if you're fairly new to vinyl collecting, if you take a record like Cake, Fashion Nugget, Alice in Chains self-titled record, Tool, Inema, there are these records that have been out of print forever, and for whatever reason they're not going to get reprinted, or like I think Cake, Fashion Nugget finally did, but you get my point. And what will happen is bootleg companies will take and manufacture like near identical copies of things, and sometimes I've bought them if the original is way too expensive, or if it's a situation like Maynard with Tool, like he's just being a jerk and won't let them reissue it. Like,
He's being a tool.
okay, well, like if you're never going to make it to where I can give you money for this, then I feel like I'm good on good moral.
You give your money to the bootleg people.
I have proven through the years since 1989 that I will give Pink Floyd money for anything. Like, no matter what they put out, they've put out gross cash grabs of box sets, and I've been like, here's my money, you know. And I'm not complaining. Like, I'm not going, oh, woe is me, I shouldn't. Like, I'm that guy. All of that stuff is directed toward me. If you have an anniversary coming up for your record that you can justify in any way to change the packaging, I'm the guy that's going to buy it. Like, and that's fine, right? So I have proven that, like, no matter what Pink Floyd puts out, I'm going to buy it. And they have refused to do anything with this record, which is insane to me. So when I recently found out through a friend back in Michigan that, because I don't keep up with anything to do with vinyl releases or anything anymore, that a company had put out a bootleg version of Is There Anybody Out There, the Wall Live, I was like, you know what? At this point, I'm done sitting around waiting. One more thing before I get into the vinyl video. This may change. This video may age very poorly because at the time of the shooting of this video, very recently, Pink Floyd finally sold the rights to their catalog off, as many other people have. As I explained to a friend of mine who was like, yeah, but Dave and Roger still hate each other. That doesn't matter anymore. Like the rights are all, like, that's all done now. Yep. Because for years I was always like, this is gonna be Hatfields and McCoys. Like, Roger's kids are gonna hate Dave's kids. Dave's grandkids are gonna hate Roger. Like, we're never gonna get any more. So this video may age poorly. Like, they may open the floodgates. They being whomever owns the rights to Pink Floyd stuff. But as of the shooting of this video, you're talking to a guy who's been back into collecting vinyl for 14 years now, and the whole time has watched every record store day release, every Black Friday record store day release. Every time there's an anniversary of The Wall or the original release of this comes up, I'm always like, this is going to be it. They're going to do it finally. And then they never do.
Yep.
So I said, you know what? I'm just going to buy this because I love this album so much. I don't want to do a full review of that album. I may save that for a future, like What's So Great About video or something. But this version of The Wall Live 1980-81, Is There Anybody Out There version is my preferred version of The Wall. And The Wall is my favorite record of all time. And I still strongly prefer this audio to the studio version. Quick bullet points. Number one, you get all of the songs that were supposed to be on the album.
Oh yeah, because you were talking about how there's stuff that's missing on the album and things
so
like that.
So you get those on here. And Rick Wright very famously underplayed on the album for a number of reasons. Like, a lot, my very patient and loving wife here will hear me listening to The Wall, and I'll be like, why didn't Rick play better? But I know why Rick didn't play better. If you had a guy screaming in your ear the entire time about what a piece of crap you are, you also would be like, here's the chords to this song. I've played keys, goodbye. So On the live versions, Rick plays how I wish he had played on the record.
Yeah, their sound as a keys person.
I mean, all the way across the board. It's not just the piano. It's, you heard there's organ stuff.
Organ stuff is top notch. I couldn't agree more.
It's all Roger's kiss. I would say chef's kiss, but Roger in his mind is probably way more important than any chef.
Yeah, right. But you know, Roger Toohey.
Right. So let's get down to the nitty gritty and talk about this actual bootleg brought to you by the bootleg people.
Fine people at Bootlegging.
They did some fantastic work here. First of all, the 3 LP gatefold looks awesome. Like if there was an official release of this, this is how I would hope that it would look. Now we live in a day and age where record companies are getting as much as they can out of everyone. So if this ever does come out, I'm sure it will be in a die cut thing with bricks missing, and which will be neat, but won't affect the play at all. But it will justify Sony being like, and just for $200 each, you get this. Whereas this is how I would, how for 14 years, how I've wanted this on vinyl. This is what it looks like.
Cool.
It's just a 3 LP gatefold. Great picture on the inside of just the band performing it on the actual wall tour. Straight track listing on the back, just like it was on the thing. And then there were 2 different versions when this came out on CD. There was a long box version of it, not like the old style long box, but it was in a hardcover book that was.
I know those.
Okay. That was like the length of a CD.
Yeah.
Okay. And it had the 4 masks.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool.
But years later, they reissued it in a regular double glass.
Oh, just the thing.
Right.
Yeah.
And the 4 masks were around. So since this is the LP is like that,
makes
that's
sense.
how the cover looks. You hear me go on quite often on this channel about rice paper inner sleeves. What did I say when I took the cellophane off of this and went to look at one of the 3 LPs inside?
If the fine people at Bootleg Inc. can put it in rice paper inner sleeves, why can't everybody else?
Sony, well, it was Epic's Sony, Sony, BMG, Columbia, all these record label, all these people, like we have reviews on this channel for records we've paid like a lot of money for 1 or 2 LPs that come in like the scratchiest plain paper sleeve ever. The Bootleg people were able to put all three of these LPs in rice paper inner sleeves. Like how are they able to do that, but no one else is, or like the actual company? Well, I'll tell you what it is. It's the Bootleg people care more about the music than the folks. I always, when we go through this, we talk about, we've touched on packaging. We talk about cost, or we end up talking about cost and value and whatnot. I got a steal on this. I've seen them go for $120, $150. Someone was able to locate a sealed copy for me for $75. That's a steal and a half for this. I think it's an absolute, if you'll pardon my language, it's one heck of a deal. I mean, just for, like we talked about, for the packaging, the way it's presented, I'm going to come back to the actual LPs in a minute and talk about that a little bit more, in the sound and whatnot. But the packaging alone, the way it's presented, it has a hype sticker on it. The Bootleg people made a hype sticker.
Well,
it came with a like 11 by 17 or so reproduction of the movie poster.
It's on the wall now.
Like what? Yeah, the wall's on the wall.
The wall's on the wall.
It's just, that's crazy to me.
The Bootleg people.
Yeah. And the other thing that I'll talk about regarding it too is one thing that I've always wondered if they were to do, because the wall is very famously 2 LPs, should have been 3 to begin with. But the breaks are very much made because at the time LP was the favorite format. So it was like, well, these are going to go in a certain order, right? So with this album only having ever been available on 2 CDs, it's not even available on streaming, which is gross. It's only available on 2 CDs. Yeah, you can't even stream this record. Breaking news.
I just found out.
It's on 2 CDs. Oh, if you could stream this record, it'd be on in our car a lot. But it's on 2 CDs. So one of my things was with the crowd noise and everything, I'm like, where would the breaks happen, right?
Yeah.
They did the breaks, I think, fantastic. Like they did them in the most logical spots for the album, and they waited till like the audience was as quiet as it could be, or a quiet thing to switch between them. So
everybody collectively went to the bathroom.
In a point where, again, I think if and when an official release of this happens, I wonder if it will be sequenced this well.
Oh, that's a good question.
Yeah. So, and the only thing that's weird about this, and I always put pictures up of everything. So this is a 3 LP set. There's only enough music here to cover 5 LPs, which usually will be side A, side B, side C, side D, and then side E, and then they'll do like a blank side F or whatever. This side A is a printing of the movie poster for The Wall.
Sure.
And then the music starts on side B.
Now, riddle me this, Batman. Do you think that has something to do with the aforementioned breaks, right? Because it's one thing to break to flip a record. It's another thing to break to get a different LP.
Oh, as far as like the continuity of the story goes and whatnot, that's possible. I didn't think about that.
I did.
Oh boy.
I'm just saying.
No, that's absolutely no. That's a really. I didn't even think about that.
I wouldn't put it past the bootleg people to think of that.
Yeah, it's very possible. Yeah. If nothing else, I'm just quickly thinking the outro of the story ramps up emotionally.
You know what
fast.
I mean? Because I'm saying I kind of want the end of it to be an easier flip.
I don't even know who made this outside of the bootleg people, but I would love it if this somehow gets to them and they're like, here was the thought behind that.
If you are the fine people at Bootleg Inc., please let us know.
Leave a copy and let us know. But the breaks are good. The sound on it is fantastic. If nothing else, and this happens on some bootlegs, and you don't have a lot of experience with like bootlegs here, for whatever reason, the sound is a lot lower on it.
Dude. Yes.
Go on.
When you mean low volume wise?
Yes.
And I noticed this because you had our volume up more to listen to this, right? And because of that, whatever the low notes were hurt my ears. Were like vibrating because the bass was so like vibrating.
That's how you know it's working.
So anyway, I'm sitting there because like I had to like move from like our main listening area like over to the living room because I'm like this hurts my ears. But it's because you had it louder because this was lower,
right?
And so the lower I was feeling more.
That's all up to whomever does these things. Like I used to years ago, I had a bootleg of Van Halen Live right here, right now, before there was an official release of that. And I had to have that thing cranked. And then I had a bootleg of Balance by Van Halen that was like way louder than an official release of Balance, which I also want. But you know what I mean? So it's just very, who knows? Now I'm going to make a whole ass excuse up right now. I love when live, like if you saw Pink Floyd on that tour, you're going to be standing there being like, that's too much bass. Is
it because Roger plays bass?
No. Well, he kind of didn't on most of this performance, but anyways, so to me, I'm fine with that because that's more of the concert.
It feels more authentic. Okay.
To me,
so like my ears would have hurt going to see this.
So much.
Sure, I'll take the authenticity from the bootleg people.
Sure. So, me personally, if you can find this for around 100, I think 120 is asking a bit much, even with the poster and the hype sticker, and the cool packaging. Again, there's no like, sleeve or die cut. I think 120 is a bit much to ask for this. If you can find it for between 75 and $100, and you're as into the record as I am, I would never buy this just to buy it, which I have done with a lot of Pink Floyd releases and a lot of Pink Floyd boots. I did take a chance on it, but that's because of the deal that I got on it. I would never tell anybody, oh, buy this just to buy it. Like if you're into this record and you're upset that there isn't an official release of it, by all means hit this one up. YouTube is very strange about links. So if you have a link to where to find one or wherever, please don't post it in the comment because YouTube will nuke the comment immediately. Our email address is in the right in our bio on the channel. If you have a good lead on one and you want to help other people out, email us that link and then we'll put it in the pinned comment. It's just, to help folks out because if you leave that comment, YouTube will nuke it automatically. And there's no rhyme or reason, but if it's a selling link, it's going to go. So if you're new to the channel, if you've never heard us talk about vinyl, we have vinyl videos every single Sunday that go all over the map. It's not just bootlegs. It's not just Pink Floyd. It's stuff we just picked up at the store. And we're not sitting here doing detailed stuff, talking about, you know, the EQ on this and the mastering on that. Like, we're just talking about two people who listen to records a lot and what our varying opinions are on them. We have other videos on the channel every week that we would love for you to check out too, if you get a chance.
We're delightful.
But if this is your first time here, at least hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, see what we're all about. And if nothing else, maybe check out some of our other vinyl reviews, see if you like that. But leave questions for us in the comments. I'll be more than happy to answer them, because if I hadn't bought this and I came across a video like this, I would have a million questions. So I would drop them all in the comments, and I will be happy to answer everything that I can. That is Lauren. My name is Russ. And as we always say, thank you so much for watching.